They support the top producer platform. They're some of the most referred service providers in the city, so they're people you're going to want to know. So let's just kick this thing off and go straight into the panel. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to highlight. Let's see, pin this video. All right, let's kick this thing off. So first up, whoops, sorry guys, I got these out of order. First up is going to be Justin Pekarik. So Justin has sold more than $50 million in real estate in Central Florida by becoming a leader in the use of digital video marketing. He was named the 20 under 40 Realtor by Orlando Regional Realtor Association in 2019. His talent for showcasing his listings in local neighborhoods has been nationally recognized by Tom Ferry and BombBomb as a top 10 video influencer for 2018, known for his specialty in video marketing. And just opened up his own brokerage. We've got Justin Pekarik. I'm trying to spotlight you now. Justin, you there?
Hey guys. Hey everybody.
Awesome. Next up, we've got Tiffany Pantozzi. She's a founding, sorry, it's hard to read these bios and moderate. She's a founding member. Let's see if I can find you and unmute you. There we go. Next up is now Tiffany. Tiffany is a founding member at Compass Real Estate Orlando that's dedicated to providing her clients with unparalleled service by creating a customized real estate experience. She's been the top 20 under 40 rising stars in real estate as well. She's in the top 1% of agents in Central Florida. She's a member of Compass's private client network. You guys know Compass. They are crushing it all around the country. She's a leading social media marketer for real estate. I know a ton of people told us the reason that they're here is because they want to learn what Tiffany's doing because she's crushing it on content. So here from Compass, Tiffany Pantozzi, welcome.
Hey guys, happy to be here. Thank you.
Glad to have you. Next up is Ken Posick, who I know is running very tight with time and time, so we're going to try to get him in here before he gets on to the next thing. Ken Posick's been in the real estate business in one way or another since the age of 18. Started out as an investor and appraiser in Detroit, Michigan. After building a successful real estate team, he picked up and relocated to Orlando in late 2016. So a lot of you guys, it's already a feat to build a team selling tens of millions of dollars. Ken has had a team selling tens of millions of dollars, and he just shut the whole thing down and moved to Orlando because he wanted to live here. So since 2006, he's rebuilt his business. His first year down in Orlando when he was brand new, he sold over $11 million. He's focused on video, direct mail, and agent referrals. In 2019, his team closed 153 sides. Forget this, 46 million. So that's 3 years in Orlando, 3 years to building almost a $50 million team. He's won the Realtor Magazine's 30 Under 30. He's a former MAPS coach and is regularly featured on national and marketing outlets. Let's welcome our friend Ken Posick. What's up, Ken?
Hey, everybody.
All right, and then last but certainly not least, Amy, I'm trying to unmute you here. All right, if you can, oh, there you are.
Hi.
All right, so now we have Amy. Amy Kidwell's been a realtor in the Orlando market since late 2014. Her marketing's almost exclusively through YouTube on her channel, Heart and Home Orlando. You definitely want to go look it up and save it. To date, she has produced, get this, more than 500 home tour videos. She has nearly 3 million, that's with an M, 3 million views on YouTube, and people around the world have spent, oh, this is awesome, have spent 210,000 hours. That's a lot of years watching her channel. It's about 24 years of viewing. Oh, she did the math for me. There's about 24 years of viewing, and most importantly, she has over $60 million in sales as a direct result of her video marketing strategies. So welcome, Amy. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
All right, so I'm going to dive right into the content. I want each of you to go down the line. I want to hear what is the #1 reason that video marketing is important to you in your business? And then I want to hear what are you focused on as like your next level? What's the next level for you as a video marketer? So I'll just stay on you, Amy. Why is it important to you, and what does your next level look like?
I think for me, it's a great way for me to door knock without door knocking. It's a great way for, once you've built your video library, your portfolio, so to speak, it's constantly working for you. So you can go to bed and wake up the next morning and you may have 3, 4, 5 more potential clients because they were watching your videos. So for me, it's kind of a constant source of looking for clients and helping to share and to connect, which is actually my number one thing, is to connect with people, which is why I'm in the video, because ultimately the reality, guys, the secret's you're not selling the home, you're selling yourself. So if you find a way to let them connect with you, whether they like you or whether they don't, that's kind of part of the reason we do it. And just in the future, you know, we've changed up some equipment lately, trying to do some things differently. I don't know as much about the technical side as my husband does, who was in television production. But we've been doing kind of some changing up some technical aspects. So my videos today look a little bit different than they did when I first started.
Love it. And actually, I'll ask one more question that I'll also ask the rest of you. How did you get started in the actual video marketing in your business? How did that start?
Totally by accident. I moved from Virginia. I didn't really want to move here. You know, that's a long story for another day. But anyway, I was here. We were trying to get friends of ours to move here. And in the community that I currently live in, we did new construction building from Virginia, which is one of the reasons I'm kind of really passionate about new construction, and helping provide a different kind of a service to my clients. But I had friends that I wanted to move here. So in our community, there were still vacant lots. There were still inventory homes. So I asked the site agent if I could go over and, you know, just go tour the home and send a video to my friends. And so literally that's how it happened. I was in t-shirt, tank shirt, like flip-flops, shorts, hair up in a ponytail, no makeup. And I was over there telling my friends Daryl and Jen that they should move here and that this could be Jazzy's room and this could be Javon's room. And honestly, that's kind of how it started. It just happened just like that.
Literally 24 years of viewing videos later.
Yeah.
People have watched 24 years worth of your videos now, and it just started in t-shirt, showing up, trying to show the house up. That's awesome.
Yep.
Let's go to you, Ken. Let me spotlight you real quick. Ken, tell us first how you got started in video marketing, and then tell us why it's important to you and what the next level looks like.
I got started when I still lived in Michigan, and I was basically interviewing local business owners to try to grow my database. And so it wasn't really a lead gen platform as much as it was just, hey, let's create good content that I can send to my database. And through that, how can I meet really great local business owners that wouldn't give me the time of day, otherwise. But when I called them and said, hey, can I spotlight your business and talk a little bit about you and why you're awesome? Like all of a sudden, people started taking the phone call, and that definitely opened up a ton of my world. So that's kind of what we started focusing on.
What's the next level look like for you?
I think more consistency and more video. I mean, we're doing everything from Zoom calls to BombBomb to YouTube and Instagram, but for us, it's more consistency and putting out more and more content. Cause like Amy mentioned, like once you build your library, I mean, that's an asset that say like Zillow can't take away from you, right? People are going on your YouTube. They love, interacting with you and the content that you're putting out. And so that's, I think, a very powerful thing. Instead of me just buying leads, as soon as you stop buying leads, the leads stop coming. Whereas if you build this huge asset of great content that people can engage with, it creates leads, for years to come.
I love it. I love how you're saying build an asset and build a library. See, those are two key words I think everyone should have heard. Your ears might have even perked up when you heard them, because he's not just making videos for an immediate purpose. He's not just, I want to say this, I want to share this, I want to show this house. He's creating a library, an asset that sits online all the time, so that when people jump onto, let's say, his YouTube channel or Amy's YouTube channel or anyone's YouTube channel, they're not just able to jump on and learn stuff. They're able to continue to research about you and your company. They're able to stay engaged or stay entertained, or like Amy, they could keep watching your videos for literally probably a year or two each. 500 videos is a lot, so they can binge watch.
It is.
I'm sure plenty of you watching and listening to this have binge watched something, Netflix something. So we're all used to binge watching, and the more content you can stick in one space, the more people are able to binge watch you. It's not just one video sitting on a channel one time or coming through an email. You're basically looking at it as an asset that continues to serve your business once it's there. Is that correct?
That's right.
So do you put a lot of thought into what the actual library should look like in the beginning or eventually? Like, is there a blueprint you basically created and said this is what needs to be out there for your channel?
Yeah. For us, it was a mix of lead generation, but then also lead conversion, and then also basically entertainment kind of for our database. And so we shoot 3 different types of videos consistently. And so for us, because our goal is to also grow a huge.
I gotta stop you. What are the 3?
Those are the 3. So basically lead gen. So like, community videos, getting out and basically something that's going to be more Googleable. Yeah. Second one would be kind of like lead conversion. So like, hey, here's our listing presentation. Here's our buyer presentation. Here's why you should work with our team. That's more lead conversion. And then entertainment would be like, a business interview, or, I think as realtors, we put a lot of crap out there to our database. It's like, hey, here's the new interest rates, or here's my new open house. Like eventually people, they don't care. Like they're going to unsubscribe. They're going to stop engaging with you. And so how can you be the realtor resource of choice for the next decade in their life that they're going to want to continue and engage with you? And so for me, that's what we try to do. So those 3 kinds of videos are what we're consistently trying to shoot and kind of keep that mix going. Love it.
Susan, I love the comment she just wrote in the comments that we've went from database to what they call data bank. I'm sure you guys have seen that term now.
That's right.
To now library. And it's kind of like a progression of running your database. I love that. So love the 3 types of videos. I just dropped them in the comments for anyone that needed them. Thank you, Ken. Let's go to Tiffany. How'd you get started in doing video, and why is it important to you, and where does the next level take you?
Yeah, well, when I first got into real estate, I was kind of I felt like there wasn't enough video. There was like, I wanted to do something different. How could I stand out? And I do come from a background of entertainment. So I was familiar and comfortable working in front of the camera. And so I really wanted to just, create content that people can connect with me and I can share more information. And just like Amy said, she's so right. It's that reach, right? So it's the reach, because after you put content out there, people can consume it at all hours of the day, all over the world. So my reach is way, way larger when I'm able to create good content and put it out there versus having 25 calls a day, because we only have so much time in a day, right? So if I can share a message, if I can put out great content that people can consume, because people want to consume free information, right? From the right professionals, people that have good information to share. So by putting out content virtually through a video, I can reach so many more people. I can show my personality so that the right people are being attracted to me and my business, hopefully, that want to work with me and see my value. And again, it's a way for me to be a differentiator. Like, not a lot of people are comfortable doing video or put the time and effort towards it. So it's definitely a differentiator for me. And that's one of the reasons that it drew me to focus on it so much, is because I get such a great response on it, and you get so many views. Like, people may not like your video, your photos, but they'll watch your videos.
Love it. And one of the things I think is important for everyone listening to know is that, like you said, connection. Like, people are able to connect with you with this resource that's sitting there. See, like, you may see the results, but you don't even feel what we feel when we feel connected to you after watching your videos. So I'll just throw this thought out. How many of you guys, you don't have to answer this or put anything in chat, but how many of you guys are on this right now, or that are on this, are on here feeling like you know Tiffany, feeling like you're friends with her, feeling like you've connected, but really you've probably just watched her videos or seen her on social. You probably could say the same for Justin, Amy, and Ken, but we all feel like we know each other, see each other. I think it's important because we're actually able to feel like we're building a relationship with the person while you guys are doing other stuff. You're working on other things, you're moved on to other things. And meanwhile, people are consuming your content and connecting with you on a personal level, not just generating leads, but they're like feeling like they like Justin more, or feeling like they like Tiffany more. And you're not even working on it. You're not in front of them. You're not talking to them. And I think that's one important thing just for everyone to recognize as a differentiator, is that it lets your personality shine when you're not working on it.
It positions you as an expert, right? Because you're the one sharing this information as the expert. So somebody really smart once said, you have to be your own media company. And that really stuck with me, and said, yeah, you're right. Whether you're the guy that likes to go out and feature your local restaurants and things like that, or you're the agent that just loves to share knowledge and information about the process or interest rates or whatever it might be, right? Whatever your thing is, but you have to be the media company. You are the expert. And once you position yourself like that, you'd be surprised how people perceive you just from seeing you on a video. Like, some people think that that's like seeing you on TV, right? So they perceive you at a much higher level when you're able to share information about your profession.
Love it. Let's go to you, Justin. Let's switch spotlight. There we go. Justin, how'd you get started doing video? Why is it so important to you? Because I know it's very important to you, and even your brokerage. And then third, what does your next level look like? because I think it's important not just to learn from you guys, but all these people, a lot of them are trying to get to the level you are all on. So I want to know, like, what level are you aiming for? How'd you get started? Why is it important? But like, what are you looking at? What's the pinnacle for you of stepping up your video game?
Sure. Well, first, let me say I'm honored to be on this, virtual panel. I watch Ken's videos and I'm like, wow, that's such a cool idea. Tiffany, we've known each other for a while, and I noticed her stuff before I even knew she was at that realtor brokerage, and hers is so impressive. And Amy, like, you're like a legend. So, my first video was a green screen video to promote a listing. It was like a $200,000 townhome. And I said, I want to try that green screen thing. How do we do that? And we just figured it out, and it was very low quality. But some local homeowners said, that was really cool. Can you list my home? And then you get a buyer off of it. So I kept going, trying to up the quality. And you might not know about me, but I'm a mechanical engineer. So I like to figure things out. And my other hidden talent was I was a professional ice skater a long, long time ago. And I choreographed programs to music on the ice. And when you cut music and you have an ice skater land a jump at a certain time during the program, the audience claps and the judges give them a 6.0. So whenever I do a listing video that's 2 minutes long, my goal is to get those claps and for you to give the thumbs up and to remember it, to say maybe that guy should list my home, or maybe I should, look at that home to purchase. And just upping the quality. To answer your second question, Aaron, what's next? I always want to try to find a new piece of gear or a new style of editing. I use Final Cut Pro and just dive in. It takes many, many hours to perfect. But when you put out that new shiny product that you have some trick that you learned and your local sphere says, how'd you do that? That was really cool. That's what keeps me going.
Love it. Love it. Let's talk a little about, like, what do you guys look for when you make a video? So I'll stay on you, Justin. What are a couple tips for actually getting your stuff watched? Like, what is it that you find makes your videos the most engaging? Either tricks, either like a criteria you use to come up with, like, how do you make sure that the content you create is actually engaging?
Sure. So my attention span is like 3 seconds when I scroll on a phone, whether that's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you might sit down for a little longer, give them a chance, but your hook is so important. Your first 3 seconds to even the first 15 seconds, you got to nail it. And you got to have like a teaser of what are they going to see? What's the payoff for them? And I find that us as realtors, we get to see a lot of really cool stuff. New construction homes, we're out in the field. So if you can just take what you see in your life and give it to your audience, your sphere, in a somewhat entertaining way with some music, titles, some quick edits, if you can do that. And that is what people want to stay on for longer, and they'll watch for a whole minute, right? Or maybe even 3 minutes or 10 minutes. And that's how those channels, the algorithm will push your content out to more people organically because you're getting that watch time.
So it's simple. You're just putting out enough good content. There's not like a criteria or a formula you're using to evaluate it. You're just showing interesting things.
You can look at many of the other influencers, not just here in Orlando, and try to relate it to something that is local to your sphere or your farm area, right? If you see something interesting about a hook, what I mean by that is, grab their attention early and then give them some value. Otherwise, it's just a fluff video.
Love it. Let's go a step deeper. Tell me about how, like, some of your favorite hooks. Give me some examples. Like, let's say we're trying to make a video right now and we're sitting here brainstorming. We're saying, hey, we got to hook them first. Like, what are the thoughts that go through your head? How do you decide how you're going to hook them? What are some hooks you like to use? Share some goods with me.
Sure. So, as I started to learn more gear and different camera stuff, I'm still a total noob with all this stuff. But camera angles make a big difference. As you're scrolling, if you see like kind of a unique camera angle to start the film, like, where are they? And you pop in on screen, and there's a beautiful house behind you or something, or you're close in or something like that. Because most people watch social media with the sound off. And if they want to watch it further, they click and they listen. So that visual hook would be my first recommendation.
Love it. Let's go down the line, actually. Ken, let's go to you. What tell me what works for you when it comes to evaluating content, and what are some tricks that you use that are captivating?
I think a big piece is stop making it all about you. Like, be in the videos. I think that's great. I think that you're going to connect with a certain demographic or a certain type of buyer or seller. That's awesome. But then stop making it so much about you. Like, think about it from the buyer or seller's perspective. What are they going to want to watch and engage with, right? So I used to start all my videos off with, hey, this is Ken Posick with Keller Williams. I'm a real estate agent here in Orlando, blah, 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 blah. And they don't care about any of that. Right? They want to know what's in it for them. What are they going to learn? How is this video going to make them better so that they continue to engage? And through that, they figure out like, oh, I'm a realtor in the area and that sort of thing. Right? So I think that as soon as we shifted our perspective on what's going to be best for the viewer, all of a sudden our engagement went up in terms of people watching our whole videos, more views, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a really good tip there.
Love it. Amy, let's go to you.
I think for me, it's again, it's that whole connection thing, but I talk to my viewers like I talk to my friends. And if you've ever watched any of my videos, I get really excited about the homes, and that's a very genuine thing. And I think that authenticity kind of shows through. But as far as kind of the structure of the video, you'll notice that my videos are a little bit longer. They can be, 10 minutes long, but if it's a big whopper of a house, then it could be substantially longer. But we're walking through the home as though you are walking with me. And so I say, imagine you and your family, imagine your daughter coming down that staircase, getting ready for prom. And I help them visualize themselves inside that home. The only elements that are really about me in the video, other than me being in the video and kind of being the guide, so to speak, is that I constantly am telling you my phone number because, it's kind of like Tiffany mentioned earlier, sometimes people think it's a TV show and they don't realize that I really want you to call me, like, please really call me. And so trying to get them to take that next step, I kind of have to blast it. Oh, I was like, what happened to the screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna show it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So the elements that are really about them, it's about them imagining themselves in the home and doing an actual guided tour and pointing out some of the important elements. I think the other aspect, it's not so much the hook, but it's that I know my audience. I know who it is that I'm targeting. While everybody can watch it, from little kids, I had this little boy from Chicago once that constantly called me and acted like he was trying to buy a home. And as I continued to talk to him and realized it was just a kid, it was actually a really sad story. He's like, it's just fun to escape and watch your homes because I can't go outside of my house here because it's not safe. So you get those little personal moments where it like just clutches at your heart. But in generally speaking, I know who my audience is. And primarily it's going to be, a woman who's 35 to 55 years old, probably from New York. And, they like HGTV. So they kind of are looking for those kind of a TV show-ish type thing. Happens to work for me. It's definitely a lot more production than just a quick one. But, thankfully I have my husband who that's kind of what he does. So it makes it a lot easier for me. But, kind of expanding a little bit on that. So part of what I've done with the videos that I've done, I do focus a lot on new construction, mostly because we all like to walk through those new pretty homes. We all like to see those great design ideas and kind of have our own mind energized and the thought of what if we could move somewhere. And the what if factor is what we're trying to get them to connect to. But what happens for me a lot is that these video tours, I'm telling you who the builder is and what the floor plan is. Some people say, oh, don't give them all the information. Well, I have to. I think Tiffany mentioned too, you're the expert, right? If you give them all this free information, if they know that, what else do they know? And so that's one of the reasons that you're gonna kind of engage them. But because I have a video tour of a Lafayette floor plan with a dual master by Meritage actually will send out that video when they've got someone because they don't have their own tour of it. And, there's a negative effect sometimes, which is that, it's the video can be used for their own marketing and people will buy homes because of my video, but then they never called me. So I'm never really a part of it. So there's some things that are challenges with video as well. But I think ultimately know your audience, make sure you talk to them like you're talking to your friends. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be with it. And your content will kind of help generate the reality of you and not just this persona of something else.
Love it. Let's go to you, Tiffany.
Okay, great. So I think for me, there's two different ways that I approach my videos. First, we can talk about the more you know, edited, produced professional videos, because things that I'm going to do to feature one of my listings, for instance, you know, or certain messages that I want to get across, I'm going to use a team, because I don't do my own personal video editing. I'm not like Justin and Ken. I mean, they do it all themselves, and Amy has her husband. So I don't have that. And for me, it's not something that I feel like I'm getting the most value for my time to invest in to do, because I'm not very familiar with the software. So I'll hire companies that will come and do my videos. So, but there's a lot of prep that goes into it from the beginning. I mean, if you've gone onto my YouTube or social media pages, you might see like there's a video I did of a listing I had at Golden Oak, and I had a little girl ballerina dancing through the home, you know, and that's something that was really creative and different, but it's the storytelling. Okay. That's the main thing here. And you have to, like Justin said, you really have to grab their attention so they want to keep watching. I get bored so easily watching videos, especially real estate videos that have gone bad or are just dragging on. So I do put a lot of time in the beginning of planning out, you know, my storyboard, I call it. Okay. So what is the, like Justin said, what is the hook? What am I going to say at the beginning? And maybe I'm not on the video. Maybe it's just a message that comes across, but what is that hook to get somebody to want to keep learning and listening and see more, right? But so there is a lot of prep that goes into these more curated videos where I'm storyboarding. I'm talking about what kind of shot I want and how I'm going to grab the attention, and how it's going to flow, because you're telling a story. You're sharing what will it feel like, look like, you know, sound like, taste like, everything for those people if they own that home. So you need to kind of touch on all that. And that's like part of like the lifestyle aspect of it too, right? So in letting them envision themselves in that space is super important. So there is a lot of work that goes into that, but then there's also like the more on the fly, not as produced, just grab your phone and talk and do some put out some content kind of videos. But again, there's still little tricks to that too. I mean, don't hold your video down here and then you're getting this horrible angle. Nobody wants to see that, right? Maybe you have to hold it up. And these are simple things, but there are still things that people need to recognize and may not know. Or having a ring light, okay? It's like $100 on Amazon and it gives you much better lighting in your video. Or like this little tricky guy here that can go onto your phone, you know, things like that. You can get better lighting. So there are certain little gadgets and things that can help you produce a better quality video that will make people want to watch, whether it's produced by a professional or not produced by a professional. But I think that really making sure you're being aware of your storytelling, getting to the point, getting it out, you know, keeping it concise so that people always want more, is really, really important. And one other trick, which I think is important to share, because yes, I'm confident and comfortable on a camera, but still when the camera goes on for a lot of my more planned out videos, I still get nervous and I still kind of, you know, mess up. Everybody messes up. Nobody's perfect. So I personally love to use a teleprompter. It's great. You can literally get them for free, download them on an app on your phone, on your computer, hold it up to the camera. And that's really helped me a lot of times to get through these videos and not take hours to shoot them. So certain times, again, you want those tagging one-liners that will grasp somebody, and you can't remember them all. So I think
what teleprompter app do you use?
There's like Teleprompter Lite. It's like a free app. I mean, you can literally get it for free. And even if you have a professional videographer shooting you, you can still, I mean, even have your laptop right under it, like, you know, and read it and make the font really big and at least give you some ways that you can look back and remember what point you might have been on. But I think that's a good little trick, and you can use it on your phone when you're trying to get a point across. So maybe you're sharing stats and you just keep messing up on the numbers. Well, put it on your teleprompter and read it out. It's totally okay.
Love it. Let's do this. I want to go on the horn, make sure each of you get a second and give us like your quicker answer, just so I can get a few of these through all four of you. So here's what I want to hear. I want to hear how you structure your planning and consistency, because the number one question that I got from the group was how often are they doing video? How do we plan our video? When do we do our video? How do we chunk the videos? How many videos do we do it? How do we stay consistent? Those types of things. So I want to hear a little bit about your philosophy, your scheduling, when you do it, how you stay creative, and where the ideas come from. Just anything related to that. I'm gonna jump to you, Ken. Let's go to you. Tell us a little about your planning and consistency.
Yeah, so we shoot every other Thursday without miss, and so it's on the calendar, it's time blocked. I don't put appointments around it, and so I treat it as though it's an appointment, and so that way I'm not just like here and there. And then when we actually go to do it, we have kind of a one sheet of here's what the video is, here's what I'm trying to get across, and then I kind of have some bullet points that we want to talk along the way. I don't script it at all. I just kind of try to be as natural as possible, because I find that when I try to script it, I read and I don't seem super authentic. So that's just the way that we go. But I think that every agent's going to be a little bit different. So that's what we do to stay consistent. And then now that we're trying to do more, we're going to go to really every Thursday to making sure that we're putting out at least 2 videos a week, which is the new goal.
Love it. Amy, how's your schedule look? How do you stay consistent?
We have 3 magic words. It's feed the beast. That's what you have to do. You have to keep going. We had our first breakout session. We all kind of talked about that's the hardest part, is getting yourself motivated, because it actually takes time, and it takes time out of your house. So you have to just be motivated, get yourself motivated, feed the beast. For us, we did a lot more in the beginning. We built our library. Now we still film a lot. We do at least 2 a week. And there are times that we say it's our shoot to post day, which means that I may be out all day long, and we may end up getting 6, 7, 8, 9 videos done in one day. And then we have them, like if we know we're going out of town, we still have those in the can that we can then kind of disperse out as we need to. So you see I wear the same shirt in a lot of videos, and that's why.
Love it. Justin, how do you chunk it? How do you schedule it? And how do you stay consistent?
Oh gosh, I wish I had a better schedule. I'm working on it. I'm kind of new to YouTube, actually, especially this channel I started that goes along with my brokerage. So I'm trying to learn from these experts here on how to grow faster. So I'm in the same boat as you guys in the comments here, like how do I grow and stuff. And I do think, yes, consistency. YouTube rewards consistency. 1 a week is a great place to start. And I find that if I'm not passionate about a topic, I'm not going to be able to go shoot an effective video, because I'm not going to come up with the words. And like Ken said, I like to kind of just go and riff. And a lot of times the inspiration comes from a lot of buyers you're working with. They all keep asking the same questions, or they all want to see that same model home. And you're like, you know what, I should go do a video on that model home, because I've got a lot of knowledge on it, and I keep answering the same questions to these 7 people. So why don't I go do my take on what that model home would be. In addition, I've started to incorporate this home office with more of those informative style talking head videos. But I just did one where I had 2 cameras, and I think it broke up the monotony of it a bit. So those I do type out what I'm going to say, and then you hold the paper and just look up and say a sentence, and then look down and do the next one. And because YouTube is known for its jump cuts, as long as you keep the audio going, people don't mind that it's jumping back and forth.
Love it. Tiffany, how about you?
Yeah, so I don't have a very consistent video schedule as of right now. So I just, I try to get a few videos done a month, but for me, a lot more of my content comes from natural videos, like not edited or anything like that. So
how do you stay consistent with making your videos for Instagram and stories and things like that? Because you do a pretty consistent job.
Right. A lot of that, the stories stuff is like on the fly, like I'm out, I'm doing something, or like I'll plan to say, hey, I'm going to go to this house and do an open house or feature this property or something. And I'll go and do a story about it. Like I'll be with my team next week, and we're going to be at a specific property, and I'm going to be doing a story about it, talking about the vacation rental market. So I'll set certain, things that I know are hot topics to talk about, and schedule them into my week, where I can just go on the fly and do video through social media, but it's not as edited, as some of my other product that I put out. So, for me, again, one of the things I'm curious to know on this panel is like how much of their video editing everybody does themselves versus hires, or does, has a third party do. Just because I know that not only is it an investment in your time, but it's also a monetary investment if you're not doing them yourself. So there's only, you have to budget to how much content you could really put out if you're not doing it yourself. So it's definitely a great skill to have, but that's why I like to put out a lot of just free form content, I call it. So you can even see on my Instagram, like I have videos where I just sat my phone down and I'm just talking to the camera, And it doesn't matter that it's not edited and it's not fancy, because it's still engaging information. It's still me sharing with my, network and my social sphere, and people still will want to consume that information. So I always try to tell people, don't be paralyzed by the fact that you think it has to look super fancy and amazing. I mean, everybody on this panel puts out incredible videos, but there's a lot that goes into it. Don't think that it's like overnight and you can make these fabulous videos. Like, there's a lot of planning and time. So, but don't be paralyzed by it either. Just get a little bit of good lighting and a good angle, put on some nice clothing that pops on the camera, have some good energy, and just be yourself. Like, that energy will shine through and people will be attracted to you for that, right? Because it's about finding your tribe. And I like to say that you can't be everything to everyone. It's one of my favorite things to always say to everybody. And if you're being your true authentic self, you're not for everybody, and that's okay. That's great. I only want to attract the people that want to work with Tiffany and all the crazy things that come along with working with Tiffany and my personality. So that's what I want for my business. That's going to bring me the most happiness in my business, hopefully. So it's part of my strategy and how I go about deciding what I'm going to do and what my message might be, right?
Love it. Love it. Ken, I know you got to run in a second. So I'm going to ask you kind of a general question. Can you share with the group either your biggest tip that you've learned or the biggest mistake that you see agents making? So basically what I'm really asking you is, give me one more golden nugget that everyone can learn from. Either biggest mistakes you see people making or the biggest tip or trick that you use when it comes to video marketing.
So I think you got to start with where you're at. So I think, what Tiffany just mentioned, I actually don't edit any of my stuff anymore. I started my first 150 videos or so, I did myself, and then I hired an editor, and now we've got a videographer, editor. And so, start with wherever you're at, right? I think that so many agents start and stop. And really, if you're not consistent with it, you won't get any momentum. And so start with where you're at. Grab your iPhone, grab a gimbal so your phone's not all shaky, walk around, make it look a little bit, and just start free if you can, right? Lead with revenue and be consistent. And I think when you start with those two things in mind, you're actually going to get results. And so that would be my biggest tip right there.
Love it. Hey, I got one more for you because I know you got to run. What kind of equipment are you using?
Right now,
what kind of equipment do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, again, so DJI Osmo is fantastic if you're starting with your phone, right? Just again, to get the gimbal. If you're doing the forward facing, you don't need a mic, you don't need all these other kind of things because you're kind of super close to your phone. But then from there, it's going to be a run of the mill. If you're like a Sony guy or a Canon guy or a gal, it just depends on what you're looking for. But I think, great video and audio go really well together. So if you do end up going with the camera, making sure you've got the mic set up, we use a Rode Go setup, which is really great. They're wireless mics. So that's really all the tech side that we're using.
Love it. If you want to see one of Ken's best videos, by the way, I'm going to have Nikisha just drop the link in the comments. I know we dropped a link to one of Amy's videos earlier. We'll drop Tiffany's and Justin's in a minute. I'm still downloading and putting Justin somewhere that you can actually see it. So hopefully we'll see it at the end. But we'll drop that in the comments. Nikisha, if you could just drop Ken's link in the comments so anyone can check it. Any last words? Because I know you've got to run. Anything else you want to share before I go to the other panelists?
I think video is key. I think if you're not leaning into video, whether you're good or bad at it, like we all started somewhere. And so I didn't feel comfortable doing a Zoom call, let alone jumping on and trying to put out content to my entire database, right? And so I think you start with where you're at and you get better through consistency. Like none of us were great at open houses or prospecting for expireds the first time you did it, right? But the more that you do it, the better that you get. And so the more at bats you can have, the better you're going to get. And so I would say that if it's something that you want to lean into, make sure you're consistent, lean into it.
Erin, can I say before you let Ken go, Ken, I want to know one thing from you too, because I know everybody else is going to get to share. So I know somebody else mentioned the biggest thing is, getting the best exposure for your video. You spend all this time, money, putting together these awesome videos. So what's your trick for getting the most exposure on them organically, or maybe not organically? Do you do ads? Like, how are you getting thousands of views?
Love it.
Yeah, so I think some of the stuff is, shooting a specific video that that Google's going to enjoy. So like some of the stuff that I've done at like Golden Oak or some of the other kind of videos that seem to pop, at the top 10 things about XYZ city, like focusing in on keywords that people are going to actually go and search. That's a big one. And then once a video has been kind of gone on the algorithm and it's getting more views, then we send it out to our database, and we've got thousands of people in our database and they really engage with that as well. And so I think that for us, we do a little bit of organic reach. And then once it's the organic reach sort of slows down, we put it out to our database. So that's kind of the main ones.
Love it. Love it. And by the way, for those of you watching this, if you get any nuggets out of this, just drop your nuggets in the comments so we can download them as a file at the end, as well as everyone watching this. If you, at some point, I should have said this in the beginning, but try to snap a quick picture of this group, either now or throughout this call, the breakouts, the people speaking, whatever, and just post it on social media. You can hashtag Masterclass Orlando. It's super simple. I'll drop it here for anyone that for some reason can't spell Masterclass or Orlando. Masterclass Orlando, but tag the people speaking, tag the people in the room, like let people know about this thing so people on the next one. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, guys.
And that was a great question, Tiffany. Let's go to you, Amy. Let's biggest tip, trick, or mistake you see people making.
Again, it honestly, it keeps going back to consistency. Sometimes, we pay attention to what other people are doing as well. And sometimes you'll see somebody will post a video and then there's nothing for 3 months. Well, if you were prospecting a client and you made one phone call and you make any more phone calls for 3 months, how's that going to work out for you? So again, that consistency is what is going to kind of make that engine go. We posted about 50 videos before we started to really see the results from it. And then once you do, it's almost like a light switch goes on because it just kind of keeps going. One of the tips though is make sure that you engage. If you post a video and someone comments, make sure you comment back. Make sure you ask a question maybe in the comments, because that interaction through the comments kind of helps promote and generate those videos as well. Which again, it just keeps that little snowball bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it becomes this big, massive machine that just constantly works for you. Even if you have a week where you can't go produce anything. But again, I think just what Ken said, it's the inconsistency. The other thing is, don't try to be perfect. Be you, and you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. The other day, this is the perfect example. We finished doing a video. It was one of the most recent ones that we did. And when we finished the video, I realized, like literally we're walking back to the car and I looked down at my pants legs, and in the morning when I was getting dressed, girls, you probably can go with me. I was like, should I cuff it or not? Right. So I had one up and one down, and I never changed it. So I did this entire video with one cuff up and one down. And we stopped on the sidewalk after we did the video and we're like, I don't want to go back and video the whole thing again. So we actually made it a contest in the comments. We're like, find the inconsistency. What's wrong with this video? And the comments were crazy because people were like, I watched it 3 times before I could figure out what was wrong. So we just turned that, that little bit of a mistake into something that kind of benefited us. But anyway, so I would say just know that you can't be perfect. Go with it. Do your best, but you have to be consistent. You just have to be laser focused on it. In my opinion, you just have to keep going. And trust me, there are days and times when the last thing I want to do is have to get up, get dressed, go out of the house, and just sit there and film all day long. Honestly, it's exhausting. And I don't script either, clearly, because I tend to ramble quite a bit. But that's kind of who I am. And you just have to kick yourself in the butt sometimes and say, this will pay off later. But if you just make one phone call every 3 months, won't happen. Make one video every 3 months, not going to happen. If you can try to be consistent and just force yourself to do it and be consistent, it will eventually pay off. Maybe not right away, but just hang in there.
All right. And by the way, I'm going to go to Tiffany in just a second, but so we're going to wrap up the panel part in a minute, and we're going to send you guys into breakouts. The panelists other than Ken will be here. So you may actually get stuck in a small breakout where you can ask some of the questions you guys are sending me. And then for anyone that wants to stick around after, I won't cut this thing off early. So for any of y'all that do have the time, I'll let you guys keep asking questions because I know there's a ton of questions coming in. I'm getting flooded with questions right now. So these people are loving this, but we're going to go to breakouts in a second, let you guys kind of go around the horn and discuss stuff. But first I want to hear from you, Tiffany, and then Justin. So Tiffany, go ahead. Biggest tip, takeaway, or mistake you see people making?
I think that, we say, just get the content there, make something, don't try to be a perfectionist, yes. But there's still certain things that you don't put out a poorly lit video that's super dark and you can't see it. Nobody wants to see that, right? If it's hard to hear the sound, like that's kind of confusing for people and they don't want to watch that, or it's loud and annoying, they don't want to watch that. There still has to be certain things like the way you hold your phone. Like if it's crazy shaky, like I know that there's an agent out there. I love to listen to him. He's my friend, but like, I can't watch his videos. He's like all over the place with his phone. It's like, put on a gimbal, dude, or just calm down for a second. So, you still have to have certain standards in your content, even if it's not edited and the most, well thought out video, that's okay. But the basics, lighting, angles, clearly speaking, not shaking, those basics are very, very important when you're creating content, whether it be on the fly on Instagram. So actually my name now on Instagram is just Tiffany Pantozzi. I actually changed it from Invest in Orlando because again, you're branding yourself. Even like Amy said, like you are the reason somebody's going to come back. You're the reason that they're going to hire you. There's thousands of agents out there. How are you going to differentiate yourself? What's better about your service over somebody else's? Showing that you're a tech savvy agent, showing that you are up to date on all the latest and greatest tools and able to provide a higher level of service to your clients. That's what you need to share. So, I just think that that's really important, but don't get paralyzed by thinking you need it to be edited. Like you can do it on the fly, but just be, share something interesting. Nobody wants to hear about your awesome sandwich. I mean, you're not a chef. You're a real estate agent, right? So talk about real estate. Be the real estate professional that they know when they come to you, they can hear everything real estate, okay? Yes, we all share little things about our life and our puppies are so cute and great. That's okay maybe for little information bits of it, in my opinion, right? But when you come to my pages, I'm a real estate agent and I'm serious about it and I'm full time. And that's what I want people to know because in my opinion, when they're selecting an advisor, they should select the best one they can possibly find. And I want to represent myself as such.
Love it. Justin, biggest tip, takeaway, or mistake you see people making?
Okay, let's talk about the different platforms for a second. So once you have that awesome piece of content, what platform is that going to go on? Or can you use it or a snippet of it on different platforms? And what I like is when you control the editing, you're the one that at least has access to the file. Even if you didn't edit the whole thing yourself, you could work with your editor on this. Say, all right, full version, YouTube. Now for YouTube, you got to have the thumbnails. Thumbnails are so important on YouTube. It affects your click-through rate. When people see that little thumbnail, you see suggested videos in the right-hand column, you want to have text in it, make it clickable. It goes along with the title, what Ken was saying. Keyword research is so important. But on Facebook, thumbnails don't matter so much. And Facebook actually hurts your organic reach when you have text in the thumbnail. It doesn't like to see a bunch of text. Then Instagram, Tiffany's the expert on that one, so ask her. But I do know a few things about the IGTV where you can post a longer video now to IGTV in wide 16:9, and it makes a little preview in your regular feed. And then it says keep watching. Right, so it gets people to go over to IGTV because I do not like vertical aspect ratio. When you're trying to film a house and this is all you see, it's ridiculous. But I don't do a lot of the front face IGTV videos. So definitely, if you're in Tiffany's breakout group, ask her that question. She'll help you with that. But I think it comes down to just when you get that good piece of content, however good quality it is, make sure you do a little research before you hit release, because it will affect your organic reach tremendously if you do all the tips and tricks you find on the internet that other people have learned.
Love it. All right. So real quickly, we're going to do something called breakouts, which some of you have done before, some of you haven't, but I need you to just grab your pen real quick. And you're going to just jot down these 2 questions so that you know what we're doing once you get into this breakout. So the first question is, what was your biggest takeaway from today? Pretty simple. Biggest takeaway. And the second one is, what commitment can you make or action step can you take next that would up your video marketing game? So again, let's say that one more time. Biggest takeaway from today, and then what's the one action step you can take next that would up your game to the next level when it comes to video marketing? So here's what we're gonna do. I want you to just jot those 2 questions down. I'm gonna give you a second to answer them with people in a second, but here's how the breakouts work, because I notice a lot of you don't always know how they work. So there's about 150 or so of you here. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to have you guys just put your hands up like this. Put your hands out in front of you and just lock your fingers together. So everyone just do that real quick. And everyone got it? And all you're going to do is go like this. One time real quick, just make a quick wave. And if you do it right, it should unlock a join button on the front of your screen. So everyone just wave real quick. It should make a join button. And when you join, you hit the join button, you'll get stuck in a breakout. Everyone share, make sure everyone speaks. Everyone share what you got out of it. Hit the join button. You're going to answer these questions, and I'll bring you all back together in a second. See you guys in a second. So again, introduce yourself and share your answer to the questions. All right, so if you can still see me, then you have to join a breakout room. I'm adding you all right now. You should get in a second. Join the breakout room, introduce yourself, and share your biggest takeaway and what the next level looks like for you, or what's one commitment you can make that would take your video marketing to the next level. Let's do that right now. See you guys in a second. If you're watching this recording, everyone should pretty much be in a breakout room right now. So you won't see anything here. But they're right now going around the horn, they're meeting each other, and they're discussing their biggest takeaways or what they can get out of this. So in just a second, I'll bring them all back. If you're hearing me right now, hit the join button on the front of your screen, and you will be whisked away to a breakout where you'll get to share your biggest takeaways and what's one commitment you can make. And then we'll come back, bring everyone back together. And if we have some time, we'll get some more questions answered by the panel. But I'm going to give you guys a minute to go around the horn and share your biggest takeaways. So if you're seeing me right now, there should be a join button on your screen, and you probably never joined. So there's a breakout room waiting for you. So just hit the join button. If you're seeing me right now, it means there's a join button on your screen. There's a breakout room waiting for you to share your biggest takeaways and best practices. And we're going to give everyone another minute. So hit the join button if you're listening to me right now. And otherwise, I will see everyone in just a second when we come back together. All right, we are coming back together now. The breakout room should start closing any second. We are coming back to the main room. Breakout rooms are shutting down. Welcome back as you jump in. Welcome, welcome. We're going to go around the horn in just a second, and we're going to share our biggest takeaways from you guys. So I want to hear your biggest takeaways from this session, from your breakout, or a tip or trick that wasn't discussed yet that you want to share with the group. So I'll say that one more time. We want to hear your biggest takeaways from the session or the breakout, or a tip or trick that's not yet been discussed that you want to share with the group. So if you've got something, let me just see your hands. You can raise them virtually or literally, and I'll unmute you and call on you. Let's go to you, Juliana.
Hi. So thanks for asking, Aaron. I think that the biggest takeaway for me is to hire or look into hiring a video editing company. Because right now I do my own videos, and there's no editing because I have no knowledge of video editing. So I'm going to look into finding a company that could do that for me.
Love it. Who else has something that they want to share? Biggest take. Oh, Leo. Let's definitely unmute you. Also, if you got a nugget for the group, definitely hook them up.
What's up, everybody? Leandro, I'm the owner of Majestic Media Group. I wanted to.
By the way, if y'all don't know, this is one of my most trusted video guys I know. So if you need a video guy, make sure you connect with Leandro.
Appreciate that, man. I wanted to thank you as well for setting this up. This has been really awesome. Shout out to everybody that's on the call. I wanted to touch real quick on something that I don't know if anybody else has, and that's about your iPhone videos. I know a lot of you guys have mentioned about how you want to be more present, and some of you guys want to hire people, which is fantastic. Definitely reach out to me. But some of you guys, maybe are more at a stage where you want to do it yourself. So I have a list that I sent to Aaron. He's going to be sending out to you guys, which will go over industry trends and how you guys can use your phones to make stuff happen. But I wanted to share some of my favorite apps with you guys that I use on my phone to maybe put videos together on the fly, and show you guys that it's something that can definitely be done on the go. So there's a small list. Some of them are like camera apps that you can use. If you guys have iPhones, the camera quality on those is really good. I think Ken mentioned getting like a gimbal. So if you get like these apps and you combine it with something like a gimbal or something like that, you'll see like amazing results because it's kind of like a professional level app. And that would be the Moment app. And it's literally like moment, like perfect moment. And then the Adobe Suite has mobile video editing apps that you can use, and you can put text on your videos, you can put music, and you can do it all from your phone. And if you're on the go like I am, I think that is very useful because if you shoot something really quick, you can put it together a few minutes, and then you can have it directly uploaded to whatever your platform of choice may be. Another one that I like that's not free, but it's really, really good is called Luma Fusion. And it's, I think, like $30, but it's a one-time fee. It's really, really good. It's more along the lines of a professional level, but on your phone. So for you guys that are really trying to take that next step and be a little bit more serious and not like go the distance of maybe hiring a video editing team, I would definitely look into this route here because it's something that can help you, and it's very easy and user friendly. So just wanted to share some of those with you guys.
Love it. And then what I'm going to do right now is I'm dropping your infographic, Leo, into the comments.
Okay, cool.
So anyone that wants to see his infographic, he's got a whole bunch of tips in there. Let's go to you, Mauricio. What'd you get out of this, or what do you want to share with the group?
Hey guys, Mauricio from Artesian Title. So I work with a lot of agents, and first of all, thank you, Aaron, for having this. This is great. A lot of things I see that annoy the crap out of me, and Ken kind of mentioned, is agents just putting in like, oh, just listed, just sold, over and over and over again. So he mentioned that he had 3 different types of content, and I think having the entertainment aspect is huge because you don't want people just going there for real estate. You want them to keep on your video channel and staying on there, and having that interaction is really going to help out. So I thought that was key, having the 3 types of content to bring in more traffic.
Awesome. Who else has something they want to share? Let's go. Let's get a couple more takeaways from around the group. What did you get out of your session? Or Marlon, let's go to you, man. All the video guys speaking up today. What do you got, Marlon?
Yeah,
Biggest nugget. What'd you get out of it?
Yeah, I got a lot of good stuff. The one good stuff that I really got, that because I'm a video guy, so like I see things more from the video perspective. But they were saying that if you have this big library, people can keep looking at it and looking at it, and that's such a great thing about it that I never even thought about it. But I wanted to give you 3 tips of if you're starting your own videos and you're just doing it with an iPhone. Especially like just to go with what Leandro said, your iPhone has a great camera. So the 3 things that I'll always recommend is the background. I'm a big person that show, don't tell. So make sure that you have something in the background that it makes sense, like that if you're talking about houses, around the house, but just don't have nothing in the background. Like try to have something that talks about what you're talking in that specific video. My second one is audio. Audio is very, very important in video. It's so important. And people don't even think about it. That's the crazy part.
People will go buy a nice camera and use a crappy mic.
Yeah. So one thing that I will say is they sell lavalier mics that go exactly to your headphone on your iPhone, or to the newer iPhones. That's like the iPhone charger. It goes to that. It's a lavalier that goes to that. It's for like $20. You can still record it, put your lavalier, and your sound is going to be so much better. So much better. And my third one is lights. With lights, the main thing with it, if you get some external lights, make sure that if they're like the probably LED, that it has like the warm colors and the blue colors, just in case you are close to like a window. Blue colors will be better because technically the sunlight is blue, compared to if you're like inside of the house, a little bit of the warmer color will be better because of the same as you're lighting from the inside. And that will make a huge difference, and it will make you look way, way professional.
Love it. Thanks, Marlon. Hey, I'm going to call in 2 other people that I want to have share something about video real quick, that are in the trenches, seeing the trends that you guys should be aware of and seeing what works best. Vic, let's go to you. You've been shooting a ton of videos. Biggest takeaway from today, and then what is one nugget or trick or trend that you're seeing that you could share with this group because you're producing a ton of video?
Sure. So, on my end, we're producing video as professionals. We have a full-time video editor, and then, of course, we've got all of the content creators that we have out in the field. But really, I would believe that our audience here for this masterclass is probably going to start off self-producing a lot of content. And listen, we've got a lot of great feedback from Marlon and Leo. And I think Leo even has an outsourced video editing component that he does as well. So I'm not 100% sure. I know him and I had talked about that in the past. But you don't have to be a professional editor to inexpensively have your content professionally edited. So outsourced editing is something that I've heard people talking about, and I really think that it's important for people to consider outsourced editing. I'm going to give you a couple tools here that I think are very helpful. These are production.
Ramble them off.
These are production tools that we use here. So grab a pen, write this down, motionarray.com. That's a website that has a variety of production elements. Even if you have an outsourced editor, you can provide those production elements to your outsourced editor, and they can use the elements from motionarray.com to help make your videos look better, sound better. They have production music that you can use in your videos. They have, in addition to the production elements. And when I say production elements, I'm talking about animated text blocks, animated graphs. So if you're doing a market report on camera and you want a graph to accompany that, motionarray.com, they have graphics that you can very easily put into your videos. And again, if you're not a professional video editor, you can provide these resources to whoever that video editor is, and you can help create your videos that way. You kind of become the director in a way. Videohive.net. That's another great resource for production graphics and production elements that you can put into your videos and make your videos look far more professional than just using static graphics and elements. Ken had mentioned the DJI Osmo Mobile 3. That is a camera stabilizer for your phone. Fantastic. That's a great way to get professional quality video. And there's no problem using your phone. If you're going to use your phone, like Marlon said, audio is key. So you're going to want to get some kind of a microphone. You can research that on Google, go to Amazon, look at reviews, whether you get a lapel, whether you get some kind of a shotgun mic, something similar to what I'm talking into right now. That's huge. Captioning. I think I've seen somebody mention captioning in the chat, but I don't know if we've addressed it. Rev.com. I believe that's the, rev.com. REV.com. It's $1.25 per minute. That's what they charge. That's nothing. So if you have a 10-minute video, it's $1.25 per minute. And they can actually give you, there's two ways that they can do it. They can either give you a script for your video, or they can give you an actual file that you can put into Facebook, into Google, or YouTube, into Vimeo, and it'll actually create the CC captioning that you're familiar with. And that's important, especially for real estate agents. I have not heard anybody talk about.
By the way, since most people are watching with their sound off, which is one of the first things Ken talked about.
That's one reason, but listen, I don't know if this has been addressed, but this is something that's going to, I know ADA compliance. So that's something, if you are a real estate agent, you have fair housing compliance that you have to worry about. And ADA compliance is one of those things. Absolutely, you should be considering rev.com to make sure there's captions to make sure you are compliant on that side. So rev.com, that's something that we're integrating into our site so customers can add. Teleprompter. I will recommend Prompt Smart. That's a teleprompter app that I use. The reason I like Prompt Smart, it's not free, but I think it's $30 a year, something like that. I love it because it auto follows your voice. So as you talk, the text will scroll at the pace that you're talking. So it's not a fixed scroll. The other ones might do that.
Do you mind just taking all this list and just dropping it in the comments for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
All the ones you like to use. I'm realizing.
And one more thing I want to mention, and yeah, I've got all this written down and I can share it. But one more thing that I want to mention is if you're looking for content ideas, if you're not, listen, we all have our strengths and weaknesses. If you're not that strong on coming up with content ideas, consider hiring somebody, even if it's just for an hour. And Josh Pies is somebody. Josh Pies, he's somebody that's involved, I know, a lot in the master classes. He is a fantastic resource when it comes to writing and creative content generation.
Yeah, he does all of John Maxwell's videos, so he's phenomenal.
He's amazing. And even if you just hire him just to help you with content ideas, in an hour you could come up with dozens of ideas. So I'll get all this encapsulated.
Drop them in the comments. I'll send the link out to everybody. I want to make sure, Octavian, you had a couple tools that you wanted to mention in the beginning. Do you want to share any tools that people should be looking at, or any tricks or tools? Oh, you're muted. Hold on. Go ahead.
I think Vic and
Leandro.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to butcher your name. I was like, and Marlon all had some excellent tech advice. And so really what I wanted to add is just about the barrier to entry. And so, the tech side of it can be, really overwhelming. And if you're an agent and you want to start off making video, I suggest that you take a majority of your time in figuring out what what avenue to provide content in. Content is key. I'll go so far to say if your video quality is crap but your content is excellent, people will still watch it. If your video quality is fantastic and your content is crap, nobody will watch it. So content is key. And so, vast majority of hustling agents, they're interesting, they have something to say, they have an interesting, outlook on what makes them special. Focus on that. Focus on, providing content that somebody will actually want to watch more than making sure the technical part is good. Your first video, doesn't matter what, technically is not going to be that great. It is what it is, but but the content can still be really good. So I think that's a better use of your time, is to try to figure out the content angle more than try to master or even get a high level of proficiency with all the technical stuff. Because, you're going to learn that stuff as you go. It's piece by piece. And, as everybody said here, there's a lot of resources to up your tech game, but not as many to figure out what your angle is going to be for content.
Love it. And then I'll share one thing. One of the people that I learned a lot from, Billy Jean, if you guys have probably seen him, his videos have all went viral. Billy Jean is marketing, is the name of his company, but he teaches a 3E system. It's really simple. It's entertain, educate, execute. Entertain, educate, execute. Every video entertains, then educates, then executes. Executing being the call to action, being the purpose of the video, being the check out this spot or reach out to me or call me, whatever. But the first thing you have to do is entertain, capture their attention, then educate them with the information. Then you execute. So really quickly, I was about to call on some, but I will skip. Let's go to you, Amy, because I know I haven't let you talk in a while. Anything else that you wanted to share or anything that you got out of your breakout session there?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Anything else, any tips or tricks, anything you wanted to share or any big takeaways from your breakout?
The truth is, I think everybody is just, they're kind of, well, not everybody, but some people are reluctant. If you haven't already done video, it feels quite overwhelming. Some of us are in a tech savvy world that just don't feel like we have an overall grasp on how that works. We're all kind of in the same boat together, but you just have to try it. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be. And the more that you kind of fall into your own routine and you kind of discover who you are on camera and the content and what feels right to you. And when you do, people will gravitate to you. And that ultimately is what you're trying to do, is to make sure that people gravitate to you. So I think ultimately just everybody support each other and hold each other accountable and get out there and do it.
Love it. Love it. Oops, 1 second, y'all. This is always fun right here. There you go. Tiffany, what else do you want to share, or what takeaways did you get from the breakout?
Well, I do want to share, and there were so many great tips shared by the video guys. So thanks guys for that. There's so many different things, that resources, it's overwhelming. But I did want to say, I do use the DJI Osmo Pocket. I've had the other Osmo as well, the gimbal that my phone goes into, that sometimes it's a little bulky for me. So I got this little guy and it's been pretty great. You can get this little piece here that allows you to put your phone right onto it like this. There's like all these little attachments and accessories. You can do what you want, but this has been great. I've been doing a lot of walkthrough video tours for my clients that are out of state that want that private tour, but showing them all elements of the home. So it's really good quality content, super tiny. It's been a good little tool for me. So if you guys want to check that out, it's the DJI Osmo Pocket. And I just wanted to share that. And in our breakouts, there's just this whole conversation, we can all go on for hours. There's so much to talk about, right? So many little tips and tricks and things, but I think it's just really important to know that, yes, don't be paralyzed by it, by putting stuff out there, but don't put out something that's really bad quality, because I think it's just going to turn people away from wanting to watch what you're going to post next, So little things like that we mentioned in this call are super important in your angles, your lighting and stuff like that.
Love it. And Justin, I'm going to let you share your takeaways as well, but real quickly, so you guys know, I'm dropping something in the comments right now, which is a link to a podcast between two of my favorite people to learn from, Billy Jean from Billy Jean's Marketing, and Jesse Cole, who runs the Savannah Bananas. He's one of the most amazing marketers in the world, best-selling author, all sorts of things. But the two of them get on a call, and they're just chatting about creating attention and video marketing, and it's phenomenal. I just dropped it in the comments. You guys may want to check that out. And then Nikisha is dropping videos from all 4 of our panelists in the comments as well. So if after this class, you can actually see these videos in practice. We didn't have time to show it to each of you, but you'll be able to see that. And whoops, that was weird. Who was trying to unmute everybody? And then Justin, let's go to you. Last takeaways or things you wanted to share, or what you got out of the breakout.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff. I like what Vic was going on. I like to share some of those avenues for helping you create better content. One that I use as well is called Artlist. It has non-copyrighted songs, because you can't use a copyrighted music because Facebook will flag it, YouTube will flag it, and your music will be muted. So you need non-royalty music, and you can join monthly fee, download unlimited songs. You can cut them up and make them shorter for your video. Those sometimes inspire me to make different edits. Also, Keywords Everywhere is a great keyword search tool, as well as vidIQ. Those are YouTube keyword search tool. They link to Google. So if you're thinking, what would be a good video that people would type into Google and they would find me on YouTube, start with that before you even film the video. Put in stuff like, houses in Orlando, or your farm area, or this model home, and see whose other videos come up. There'll probably be Amy's video. So, you can piggyback on her. Give you the suggested video after hers finishes. So I would say, and then my third and final, I'll leave you with this. When you go into the home you're going to film, whether it's your listing or it's a model home, think about what the viewer is going to be seeing. Are you, and the like when you write an essay when you were a 6th grader, introduction, body, conclusion. Keep it short, sweet, to the point, film those parts, and then whoever's helping you edit, hopefully you learn on your own, you'll have a much more concise video if you just at least plan it out, even when you're just in the space, feeling that space.
Love it. Love it, man. All right, let's go around the horn. Let's get 3 takeaways from the group now. Just 3 takeaways that you got from your breakouts or from this session. Who wants to share something? I know Susan just sent me a text, so I'm going to call on her. But if you want to be called on, just shoot me a message or raise your hand. Susan, biggest take. Oh, go ahead, Tiffany.
I just wanted to tell, I was on mute, but I wanted to tell you one more thing about what Justin said, which is so on point. So if any really good video YouTuber you watch, guys, don't give everything away at the beginning of your video, right? They're all kind of teasing you and leading you through. So think of that concept like when he said about breaking it down and, the teasers, the meat and potatoes, the closer, the call to action, right? We all need a call to action at the end of every video. So I think about those things. It's really important. Even when you're doing your stories on social media, other videos, tease them, get them interested. Maybe it's a little video talking about what you're going to do later. Even what Aaron does about teasing out these master classes. But think about it, guys. What attracts you to something? What makes you want to watch? Think about that and then approach it that way for when you're creating your content.
Love it. I didn't realize today should have been a master day, not a master class, because it's way too much content. So I apologize for not getting through all the content, all the resources, all the people that want to share, but we're doing our best to at least get the conversation started. Susan, you had something you wanted to share as a big takeaway.
I did. I thought what Ken said when he said kind of go from where you are. So I wanted to give encouragement to anybody that's here today that has done nothing yet on video, who hasn't started yet. Just grow from where you are. So wherever you're sitting, just take one step forward. You don't have to look at these amazing people, Amy, Tiffany, Justin, that are just doing this like rock stars. We're not going to go from where we are today to rock stars in video, but if you haven't done anything, just identify one step and go from there. Greatness comes one step at a time. And I just want to say that to anybody who might be feeling rather intimidated by the level of success on this call. Like you guys are talking about different things that I've never even heard of before. That shouldn't discourage me. I'm just going to pick one. And I really wanted, who was it? Justin just said something. It was art something. If somebody can throw that out there, the one with the music that is, that we can use.
It's in the comments.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch.
Yeah, our list. Okay, thank you. But anyway, I just wanted to encourage everybody, just grow from wherever you are, just one step at a time. We don't have to be rock stars overnight because we'll fail if we try that.
Love it. So everyone on this call, you should so far have gotten at least a handful of nuggets, a ton of random resources and tools and apps you could be using, a couple local people who are actually creating content that you could reach out to. So you should be leaving this with at least those 3 things: a handful of tools, a couple tricks or tips, and a few people that you should be talking to. So here's what we're gonna do. I still wanna hear your takeaways from the rest of the group. Anyone else have a takeaway? Let's get 1 or 2 more. What did you get out of today? And then I have a quick survey I'm gonna have you guys fill out in a second so that we can keep making these better. So who wants to share something? What did you get out of today? Just raise your hand virtually or literally. I'll scroll through it. Lori, let me call on you. Lori, what'd you get out of today?
Hey, Aaron, thanks so much. Lori Charavello with Fidelity National Title. I actually, when we were in our breakout session, it was really all about relevant content. So I have a Facebook live show that I've been trying to push out there called Who's Your Mommy? If you can't tell from my background, it's Real Estate Mommy Moguls. And what I've been struggling with when I have those interviews is repetition. So when I was on my breakout session, Rebecca Soto and Zach were very helpful in telling me, okay, create relevant content, see what's popular, see what people are interested in. So that's something that is going to be really helpful, and I'm going to take away to hopefully implement into the Facebook Live event.
Love it. Awesome. So real quick, I'm going to get a few more takeaways, but really quick, in the comments, I just dropped a survey. It is super simple. I want you to click on it right now. In fact, I'm going to bribe you guys. I'm gonna give out 2 copies of one of my favorite books. It's called Rich on Paper, Poor on Life, to 2 people that fill out our survey about today's events. Again, it is in the comments right now. I just dropped it a second time. All you have to do is click it. You can fill it out. It's only gonna take 2 seconds. It's like 5 questions. What'd you get out of today? It has you rate today's session. You guys get the point. But this is so we can continue to make better and better events. We ran a little short on time today. I wish we had done this for several hours. We'll go back and answer a few more questions for whoever sticks around. Our networking lunch will keep going till noon, but we want to make sure we get your responses before you all start running to do whatever you do and the numbers start dipping. So click on that survey real fast, fill it out, fill out your info. I'll pick 2 people to randomly send you a book. And then when you're done, just look up at the screen and I will know that you are good to go. Just let me know. But yeah, take a minute, fill out the survey, and then we'll come right back and try to ask as many questions as we can get through before people have to go or before we finish at noon. So doesn't work. It worked for me. I'm not sure who it's not working for, but it is working. I just tested it. So I apologize if it doesn't work for you, but it should work for you.
Hey, Aaron.
Yep.
Just while you're trying to get that to work, one of the things that I kind of mentioned, I think it was in the breakout group, so I wanted to kind of mention it to everybody that is just starting, where you say start from where you are. So one of the things, I mean, most of my videos are home tours, but I actually have other videos as well that are on the YouTube channel, but then I use to supplement. So if you're trying to get started, for instance, I did the farmer's market at downtown Winter Garden. That's where I live. That's kind of my farming area. And I use that video as an attachment to some of my clients. When they don't know what the area is like, I'll just kind of send that. So if you're looking to get started in video and you don't really have ideas for content, what makes your area great? What's your favorite spot? Do little videos like that. Maybe it's a park. Maybe it's this hidden little spot that nobody else knows about but you. Or maybe it's this great little street and how beautiful it is. Whatever the case is, you can do little videos like that just to kind of get your feet wet and utilize those. Keep those in your library. It'll count as a video. It may not get a ton of views, but it's certainly something that then when you get a phone call from a client who's moving from South Florida, maybe they're moving from Jacksonville or wherever it is, and they don't know a lot about your area, you can, in your response to your email, you can link then that video tour, and then they get to have a little bit of peace of home that you also provided. So it's just kind of a good, no stress way for you to kind of get your feet wet with it.
Love it. One other thing I know that Amy did that I'm just going to share with this group, we have a lot of builders that support the Real Producers platform, and all of them would totally be excited and willing to let you come shoot those videos at their place. I know Amy is basically, she's reaching out to these builders. She's finding their new community. She's asking to do videos of each and every community. And so because of it, she's positioned as the new construction expert in the area because she's got a full video with tours with, whatnot of all these different builders, all their different communities. In fact, yesterday, Marlon and I just shot a community spotlight video, which you'll see come out soon with our friends from DR Horton up in Sanford at Rosecrest. It's a brand new community. They just opened up like a month ago. There's 10 spec homes being finished right now, but they are not only asking, they're asking and offering for agents to come do virtual tours, but we ran a special, I don't know where it went. We're running a deal where if you go shoot a virtual tour and you just send us a video, that we're actually going to brand a hat with your logo and send it to you for free, just for supporting real producers and going out and seeing Rosecrest. So as a whole, what I'm getting at is you should be reaching out to the builders in the area, building the types of relationships where they're basically giving you the inventory for your video library. All you got to do is show up and shoot there. They've got a set, they've got it built. There's information that I'm sure they can provide you. So it should be really easy. And Amy's made a giant business of doing that at a really high level. And so for everyone watching that needs to know where to start, maybe start by reaching out to a couple of the builders in the area, because they'd be really stoked to have you guys come check their stuff out. Any other big takeaways? Anything you guys want to share? Biggest takeaways from today, biggest lesson learned, or a tip or trick that we have not discussed yet? Who wants to share? Just raise your hand or let me know. Oh, Bryce. Go for it, Bryce.
Yeah, so I know I do a little bit differently than a lot of you, but I did hear some people say that they did some longer videos. One thing I've noticed on Facebook, like was mentioned earlier, the fact that there's no vocal or that there's nothing for people to hear when they're at work is really hard. So one thing I asked about and got was rev.com, the captioning. My tip is take a small clip, 30 seconds to a minute, pull it out of your video and use that with captioning to tease a longer video so that people can catch that short clip at work and then go watch the longer clip later.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff. Who else has a takeaway they want to share? Anyone else got one here? Otherwise, I'm going to start calling on the panelists again. Who else has got a takeaway? Just raise your hand and I will call on you, virtually or literally. All right, I'm just going to start calling on people. Zach, I'm calling on you, bro. You guys have made a huge push hiring a full-time video person and putting out a ton of content. What's one thing you've learned from taking the initiative to go from, just running marketing as you did to like making video a priority? What have you seen? What's been the result for you? And what have you seen putting that emphasis and that budget into really prioritizing video marketing?
Sure. Just having a strategy basically to provide content, like you said, the 3 E's, that's huge. A lot of our videos are set up like that way, and making sure that you're not always doing a call to action. So we do value adds not only to our real estate community, but to our clients, and make sure that you're on a weekly basis mixing in, value add stuff. We do a huge amount of email marketing, and the key to the email marketing is making sure that you understand that people consume information differently. So we make sure that we put a video in every single email, but we're also duplicating what we're saying in the video in the contents of the email as well, because somebody might consume the video, somebody might consume the content. We want to make sure we hit them from both angles. And we'll typically record a video first because we're creative. We want to come out with what we want to say. Then we'll design the email marketing campaign around the video, not the other way around. One thing we started to do is we've been using Rev for Facebook for a while, but I realized I've been looking at my click-through ratios. We use BombBomb for our email marketing. And I noticed that it's equally as important to put subtitles and captions and videos in email marketing, not just what typically people do online. So we're doing that moving forward with everything. One big thing I also noticed, and somebody said it about backgrounds, is we notice that we get a lot more clicks on our videos that have colorful backgrounds opposed to just you standing still on a regular background. So incorporating colorful backgrounds is important. And the last thing is, depending on your call to action, and what you're using, if you're sending somebody to a registration page, we found that if you accompany a click funnel opposed to a registration page, and the way that it engages and asks people questions on what they're looking to accomplish, we've had tremendous, much more success and engagement using ClickFunnels in our email marketing and video campaigns rather than just regular registration forms.
Love it. And the service you recommended was BombBomb Video Email. By the way, I love that I not only love BombBomb using it personally, but I love that you guys use BombBomb, because you might not know this, Zach, but you signed up years ago under my affiliate link, and I get like $400 or $500 every year when you renew it. I get a nice little deposit because of Home First Lending. So thanks for continuing your service with BombBomb. And if anyone else needs an affiliate link, let me know and I'll find you the link. Really quick, I do want to call on someone who is joining us from the furthest away. I think this is the furthest person to jump on this call. Coming in from the UK, Kim, I'm going to unmute you if that's cool, but I want you to share your biggest takeaway and just introduce yourself, because most of these people have not had a chance to meet you in person. They may have met your business partner, Craig, but let me spotlight you, unmute you. This is Kim. Say hello to Kim, everybody, with Advantage 80/20. She's coming all the way from the UK. What did you get out of today's session?
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hello.
You came this far. We might as well let you share your big takeaway.
Oh, that's really kind of you. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've learned so much. I'm really, really encouraged to hear that lots of people still feel it's all about relationship. So I think one of my biggest takeaways is that I'm just not consistent in my own videoing. I'm very consistent in my own emailing, but not in my own videoing. So you've certainly all encouraged me to make more videos. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Hey, Kim, tell people what you do real fast, just so people understand at Advantage 80/20.
Okay, so what we do is we help people with their touch campaigns. So using a variety of emails, phone call strategy, mailing out greetings cards, postcards. We basically organize all the content, organize the strategy, automate it all for everybody, and just help them build relationships to get referrals.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Thanks, Kim. All right. Other takeaways, let's get one or two more, and then we'll go straight into our networking optional lunch that some of y'all will stick around for. Anyone else have a takeaway you wanted to share? Just raise your hand, or heck, try to unmute yourself, and if it works, you'll probably be able to share. But raise your hand, let me know. Half of you have your cameras off, so I can't see if you raise your hand.
I've got another one, Aaron, if you don't mind.
Let's do it.
When Zach was on there, Zach, this is a shout out to you. It reminded me that Zach's been one of my biggest critics, and to have a friend, a professional colleague that will tell you the truth and ask them the truth. So when I don't get it right, Zach tells me you're not getting it right. And that has been just a great benefit to me. So my tip would be, have critics in your life that will tell you the truth about your content, will tell you the truth about the quality, and listen to what they say to make improvements. So that's my other tip that I have.
Love it. And then before we do our networking exercise that we're going to start in just a second, are there any other questions for the panelists that are left? Does anyone else have something you wanted to get from these panelists, you wanted to ask them? If so, speak now or forever hold your peace. Let us know if you got a question for the panel. You can drop it in the chat, or you can raise your hand virtually or literally. Going once, going twice. I'm going to scroll through. Anyone else has something you wanted to ask the panelists? Someone just talked.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, for some reason my camera doesn't seem to work. It kicks me out every time. But
oh, there you go. That's who it is. What's up, D?
Hey, this is the first time I've attended this meeting or any meeting with Masterclass, and this is just amazing. You know, the biggest thing that I would say is I've been with Tom Ferry for years, and he always say R&D. You know, and I'm sure most of us probably know what R&D is, right?
Sure.
Well, rip off and duplicate. If you find something that's really good, do exactly what they're doing. You don't need to create the wheel. Just see what they're doing, put your twist to it, and just do it.
Perfect. I'm sure that Ken, Tiffany, Amy, and Justin are stoked to hear everyone's going to just rip off what they're doing.
I don't know about them being stoked, but I definitely know Ken is fine with it. I've spoken to him about his I Am Ken video, and that's a great video.
Love it. Love it. So, by the way, y'all, he did remind me that in the comments are the 4 best videos, one from each of them, or 4 good videos from each of them, if you guys want some examples. Thanks, D. Anyone else have a question you want to ask the panelists or a takeaway you want to share? Otherwise, I'm going to kick off our networking optional. Oh, Bryce. Hey, Bryce, by the way, how many of y'all, real quick, you can just answer this in your own head, are itching to travel when all this shit is behind us? If you're itching to travel, if you're like, can't wait to travel, make sure you connect with this guy real quick, because Bryce will plan your next trip when you actually take it. Bryce, what were you going to share?
So I had one more question. I've got this Travel Tuesdays every Tuesday that I'm doing, and I've noticed that my video, even though I'm using StreamYard, so my guest usually is great video, but my stream is very grainy. And I tried testing the speed of my internet, and it says that it's okay. So I'm trying desperately to figure out what could be the problem. Are there any tools that any of these video guys have to be able to figure that out, to trace why it's not coming out clear?
Call your internet provider and get it updated.
There we go. Any of our panelists have something to share too? Anyone want to tackle that one? Justin?
Yeah, I'll chime in on that real quick. Bryce, I think that, yeah, you want to look into your internet speeds. It sounds like it's getting chopped out maybe halfway. And also consider maybe like, I don't know if you're doing the whole thing live, but if you're like uploading it somewhere, it could be getting compressed during that like upload process. So, take a look at that as well, because that is a pain in the behind too.
Love it. Anyone else have a question for the panelists?
Quick question. What kind of camera would you recommend if we want to upgrade from the iPhone to do better videos?
Justin, what camera do you recommend? I see you showing something.
Okay, believe it or not, let me get this other camera for a second. So this guy, don't mind the lens because the body comes off. That's a Sony Alpha 6400 with a flip up lens. The Canon M50 has a flip out lens. You want this because you can see yourself and frame yourself in. Then you got the mountable lenses that go on like that. However, believe it or not, iPhone 11 Pro, when you make the camera as wide as possible, the video camera, it's nearly as good. You almost can't tell the difference between a mirrorless DSLR with a nice wide angle 10 millimeter lens that's on the cheaper side. Okay, I know you guys who are experts are like, wait a minute, you can get a 4K this and that, but I'm talking about a camera body that's $1,000 or less with a lens. Compared to this guy, I would just put this on a gimbal. This is a Zhiyun Crane M2. Just throw it on there and just go to town. It's got a whole bunch of smart features. For the thing is the lighting. People forget about when you point a DSLR at a giant bright window, it's all blown out. The smartphone corrects for that. So, I mean, I like both, but because I like to geek out on the camera stuff, but you don't necessarily need to buy a DSLR, is what I'm saying.
Love it.
Justin,
Tiffany, what do you want to share?
I want Justin to text in the box what the name of his gimbal is, because I've only ever used the DJI gimbal.
This is Canon Zhiyun Crane M2.
Like Z-I-U what?
It's
like Chinese.
This is here you go. There's the text.
Love it.
Zhiyun.
Well, I think the Osmo is more user friendly. I had the Zhiyun and I had to return it because I didn't know.
This Crane M2 is super easy. I mean, you got to balance it, but
sure. Hey, Amy, what do you use or recommend? Let's go to you.
Actually, so it's funny because I have my husband, he's the technical guy, but this is currently what we're using, which is my iPhone and the gimbal. That's exactly what we're using. And I told you before, it's the DJI Osmo 3. So we used to have like real camera equipment. Remember, my husband has television production background. So we had some different equipment, even when we were starting out. Bigger cameras, kind of bulky, can be heavy when you're holding it the whole time. And so that's what I was saying at the beginning of kind of our whole session, is that we're kind of changing some of our equipment, because you're right, the iPhone is absolutely spectacular. Soft, like small, easy to kind of maneuver. And then we have this. And as far as the sound, because sound is important, especially if you're in an empty inventory home and everything echoes around, for the mic kit. So we have this as the clip-on. You can see it in half my videos. I don't have a hunchback, I have a mic pack. So it's this, and it clips. You just weave it through your shirt. You clip it over here to the side, and then it connects here to the cameraman. And then you've got great sound, and you've got the iPhone on a gimbal.
Oh,
love it.
I like it.
All right. So real quickly,
this is one more. So if you're going to edit after the fact, it's not convenient if it's going to directly record to the phone, but this is a just recording mic lavalier. It's the Tascam DR10L.
Love it.
Yeah, too. You can connect these little roads. You can try to see them there. This little road connector, like they work really well too, and then it connects to a cell phone, so you can do that too.
Love it. Anyone have any of our panelists have a tip or trick on how you schedule or plan out your video? Not just like when you do it, because we talked about that, but how you get inspiration and how you track it. Like, do you compile it all? Do you keep a list somewhere? Do you just do it sporadically? What system do you have on the creative side?
I'll jump in and share. I mean, you know, every day's news, you know, whether it's Orlando Business Journal or anything in the news, great articles that come out, and I say, hey, that's really great. I should repurpose that and regurgitate it to my audience. You know, there's so many things like that in articles that you can take pieces of and then just share it. You're your own media company. You're in the know. So sharing articles in your own words is really helpful. But getting inspiration from other people, watching other people's videos in YouTube and watching their Instagram posts and Facebook posts and saying, hey, that's a great idea. Let me make that mine in my voice with my messaging for my network and my sphere. So I get inspired by a lot of people, and that sparks other ideas. And just because somebody did something worse once doesn't mean you can't do it better, right? So they might have had a great idea, and maybe you have a better idea and you do it for your network. Again, don't go and copy people and like copy their exact scripts and everything they do. Like, that's not really appreciated, but be inspired by each other.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Sorry, I just realized that my camera's closed. So here's what we're gonna do. We're pretty much good on the questions. If you guys have any more questions for the panelists, you guys can connect with them individually. But here's what we're gonna do, because a lot of you are still here, and this is supposed to start our networking lunch portion of it. So here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna stick you guys into a breakout in just a second. We're gonna do a quick show and tell exercise so you can meet some people and have an interesting conversation. So here's what we're gonna do. Everyone that's watching me right now, we're gonna do a quick show and tell. You're gonna look around you, and you're gonna grab one or up to three things, at least one of these three things, or you can just, if you don't wanna follow our rules, you can make up your own thing and show a fourth thing that I didn't name. But I want you to look around you and grab three things. All right, three things. Number one is something rare or unique. So something rare or unique that nobody else has, something rare or unique that no one else has, something that reminds you of a better time or happy time, and something you no longer need. I'll say that one more time. Something rare or unique, something that reminds you of a better or happier time, and something you no longer need. I'm gonna let you guys get up right now and grab those things, because in a second you're gonna come back. I'm gonna stick you in a breakout room, and you're gonna actually share what those things are with the people you get introduced to and why you grab them. So take a second, come on back, and you should get a join button on your screen when you're ready. And all you're gonna have to do is hit the join button, and you're gonna then tell people who you are, what you got there, and why. So again, something rare or unique, something that reminds you of a better time, and something that you no longer need. When you come back, you should see a join button on your screen, and it'll whisk you away to a breakout room with some random people that you should probably meet, and that's what you're gonna chat about, is what you're holding. So show and tell, grab something rare or unique, something that reminds you of a happy time, or something you no longer need. And when you come back, hit the join button that pops up right in front of you. There should be a join button. All you gotta do is hit it. So hit the join button when it pops up on the screen. All right, if you guys are still hearing me, there should be a join button right in front of you. All you gotta do is go grab one of those three things. You're gonna show and tell it to the other people. Something rare or unique, something you no longer need, and something that reminds you of a better or happier time.
Hey, I hit mine and it took me to a room by myself, so I came back.
Okay, cool. Let me put you back in one. Let me just find where you are. Tiffany, let me move you to room number 3. That should work.
Okay.
Hey, Aaron.
All right, y'all.
In a group again? We actually, like, he left.
Yeah, look, give me a second.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Marlon, where's Marlon? So if you're not in a group right now, you need to hit join on the front of your screen. Hit the join button and you are going to be stuck into a group with people who you can share this stuff with. So you're sharing what you've got, something unique, something that reminds you of a better time, or something that you no longer need. If you can hear me, you're probably not in the group. Hit the join button, man. It's about to pop up in front of you.
I'm doing voiceovers. I got to get voiceovers done for my
gotcha.
for
No
my
problem.
video editor.
It's not coming up.
It should pop back up, Marlon. Let's see. Let me try this again. Marlon, you should be in room number 8. Let me switch you to room number 9. Now you have an invite?
No invite still. Let's see.
It should be on your screen, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. Join breakout rooms. Oh.
Hit join. Everyone watching me, make sure you hit the join button. When it pops on your screen, you're going to get a chance to share, and I'm going to go jump into one of these rooms and see what's going on.
Hey, Aaron, can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Okay, Kim, you should have a new invite. You should be invited to a new one now. I just sent you a new invite where there are definitely people in that room. So if you want to hit that button, you should jump into a group with people.
Thank you.
No problem.
Now it's just you and I, Aaron.
Love it. Join a breakout. You don't want to meet people?
No, I was wrapping up a call with a client.
Here, let me send you a new invite. I'll send you to another room. Room number 16. Go for it. Room number 16, you should have an invite on your screen now.
Not for me.
Andrea.
Who's there?
This is Vic.
Vic. Look, all of us were like muted and doing things.
Yeah, it's like everyone's coming alive now. All right, I'm gonna close these rooms out and bring everyone back.
Come alive. That's why, Aaron.
Yeah, this is fun.
Was enjoying a beer from his new in-office fridge.
Love it. I'm going to let everyone start to come back. Actually, I'll just let you guys hang out for a minute, but just know that the recording is recording whatever you guys talk about.
Oh, whoops.
So I'm going to leave you for a second, and I'm going to come right back. No, it's not a problem. I just don't want to not tell you that you're going to be on YouTube with whatever you're about to say. So I'm going to join one of these rooms, and I'll be right back in a minute.
So we can't talk about Pacheco then.
Well, we could definitely talk about my beer. I don't mind that. I mean, as public as I am about all my drinking anyway, doesn't matter.
Every time I see your setup, it reminds me of this meme that it's like the Zoom personalities. Shay has it. And it's like the guy with the mic is like the rich kid. And then it's like, I'll send it to you in our group.
I have big goofy headphones and the mic. I mean,
oh yeah.
I don't know what to say.
It's fun. I got to join you guys on the boat one day.
Yeah, I know. We got to do a boat party.
10 people are under, you know, YouTube out there.
Well, good. That's what the boat can accommodate. So
yeah. I know I'm CYAing right now, you know, since we're being recorded. We only meet up with groups of 10 or under.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're closing these breakout rooms right now and bringing everyone back in. This is fun. This is supposed to be an optional networking lunch. I wasn't supposed to, you know, I wasn't expecting everyone to stick around. So
yeah, like my little pop-up thing went away.
I just pulled it away. The rooms are closing now. That's why. They're all going to be brought back in here in 35 seconds. So we are coming back together. Some of you guys are just joining us now. Let's see, 23 seconds, and they will all be back in the room.
While we're waiting for them, Aaron, I have a question for Vic. Hi, Vic. How you doing?
Hi, good.
So Victoria, one of my teammates that you mentioned earlier, she was saying fabulous things about you. And she showed me one of your videos recently that was really great, like little walkthrough tour. So kudos on that.
Thanks.
Question for you. Aside from being hired to come out and do the full video through the editing, do you also have any sort of package that offers if somebody were to give you the video, like the footage, and then you create from there?
Not at this point, but I can tell you that Leandro Rosario, who is in this group with us, I'm pretty sure he does just that. And he's local here in Orlando, and I'm pretty sure that you can actually give him the footage, and then he has a group that will edit it and turn it around, you know, professionally.
Well, I don't know if he's still in here, but if you are, Leandro, send me your information.
I will send you my information too, Tiffany. I have the same kind of services of editing, so I'll be happy to send it to you too.
Good to know, Marlon. You're going to be on my list too, because there's a lot of people out there that are, you know, doing the DIY video stuff, and that's, in my opinion, that's the biggest challenge and hurdle. It's the editing.
Yes, yeah.
So,
and the best part too, what I love too, is that I will even help them through recording. Like, this is how you should record. Then you can send me your footage. So,
Aaron, are you recording? You're recording this whole session, right?
Yes, but not the breakout. So this part is good. But if you shared anything in your little breakout, your breakout was awesome. Right. So that's why I'm like, unfortunately, we don't have that, but we have the rest of it.
Okay, well, that's cool. So what are you gonna
I'll post it. I'll blast it out.
Do you cut out these segments where we're all waiting in breakouts? Probably
not, to be honest. I'll probably just tell people to skim through it.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's go around the horn really quickly. And if anyone has any more questions for the people here, go ahead and jump in. But here's what I really want to go around and do is just share what happened in your breakout rooms. Who'd you meet? What did they show you? What was interesting that you got out of this? I know half you guys have your cameras off, so this will be a little weird. We'll have to prep that for next time. But who met some new people, and what did you get out of your breakout? Who wants to go first?
I want to share one thing with you. I want to share that it's like something important for everybody to realize that we said in our breakout is this. We're talking about all these great video tips and how it's such a great resource and tool to use in our business, but you can't you know, force yourself. If this is not something natural and something you're enjoying, then maybe that's not the right tool for your business. It's not going to be for everybody, and that's okay, right? Maybe you're an incredible writer and you're going to go crush a blog. That's what we were talking about on our breakout. But you know, if you're really uncomfortable about this and about being in front of the camera and about speaking, and you know, then just don't force yourself into this. You have to enjoy what you're doing and be passionate about it, because it will show. The video, the camera shows whether you have the energy, the excitement about it or not. You can tell so quickly in the video. So I just think that's an important thing to remember, that you don't have to do video. There's other things you can do. If you realize it's not right for you, don't force yourself.
Love it. Anyone else, something you want to share from your breakaway, or something you got out of today's session? We got a few more minutes. Who wants to go? Bryce, you raise your hand. Sorry, my bad. Let me
No worries.
Bryce, go ahead.
So I met with Zach. I didn't catch his last name, but mortgage guy. And what I thought was so cool, he showed me this Lego car, and it was one of the coolest cars I've ever seen. And just the fact that he's got a Lego car, and it calls him back to a time when he didn't really have to worry so much about work every minute of the day. I like that. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Hey, what was your thing, Bryce? What'd you show?
I think probably my coolest thing, this is rare. We turned a whiskey bottle into an oil lamp.
That's awesome. I like to show right here. Wait, right? I can't even do it right now. Right above my shoulder right here is a football that was used when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, an in-game football. So it's kind of fun. No one else probably has that. Well, 50 people probably have that. But who else wants to share something? What did you learn? What was your takeaway from today, or what did you learn in your group, or have someone to share?
Had some really cool cameras. So I had to show this camera that is from 1940, and it actually still like works. So if you like do this, it works. And then my group, I had Tara on my group, and she had some even cooler vintage cameras. So I thought it was like the coolest thing that I was gonna show a vintage camera, and she had one too. She had two actually, and they're both film cameras. So I thought it was pretty interesting.
Love it. All right, who else wants to share? Let's get one or two more takeaways, and then we'll wrap this whole thing up. Who wants to share something you got out of today, or that you saw that was interesting in your breakout? Otherwise, I'm just going to call on people that are still here because you're staring at the camera. So let's hear
I'll share.
Yep, let's hear it.
I felt so learned so much from everybody, Tiffany and Amy. I felt very inspired, and you guys are hard workers. I think that's why you're so successful. So I'm inspired to not doing this part-time, but to give it a shot for full-time. Thank you.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Anyone else, something you got out of today, something that you learned, a takeaway? Or Kim, I'll call on you. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I just, it was, to be honest, it was quite intimidating for me to come on and see all of you, but I felt really welcome. I've learned a lot, and I really honestly can't wait until I can travel, because I really want to get over there and meet people in person. I was there in January. I intended to come in June, but that won't be possible, I don't think. But as soon as I can, I'll be there. Thank you.
Love it. Any other takeaways from today, or what was shared with you in your quick group show and tell? Or also, if anyone wants to answer this question as well, how that exercise went. Like, what did you feel? We connected you with some random people and had you share some random stuff. How did that work out for you? How would you describe that connection? And what did you get out of today? Who wants to share? What did you get out of today? What did you get out of that group? Or what's something someone showed you?
Hey, Aaron, it's Bryce again. One of the things I thought was really cool was the fact that I showed him this as something that reminds me of a better time, and it's the fact that it's a grease pan for my smoker. And it turns out we both love smoking brisket. So the exercise was awesome because immediately we connected. Within just a short period of time, we know something about each other that we like.
Love it. I'm going to show you guys mine now since you guys are still here. This is what reminds me of a better time. This is our photo from, a lot of you were there, from the Orpies. But this is a literally a handmade drawing that a guy spent the entire event when we did the Orpheus, the Orlando Real Producer Annual Awards. He made this awesome thing, and it's hanging on my wall now to commemorate and look forward to whenever we get to do another one, which hopefully will be this fall. So anyone else has something to share, something you got out of it, or something that you want to show and tell, or that you want to share that you got to show and tell, because we're about to wrap this thing up. Anyone else want to go? Nikisha, you look like you're going to share something.
Yes, because it's so funny. I did like kind of the same thing. I had like my RP, like my last magazine, and I was like, oh, look, this is from the last event. And it's so funny because the 3-year anniversary was the last event that I planned or I put on with anybody before quarantine. I think like literally like a week right after that. Like
I think it was literally the last Real Producer event in the entire country out of 86.
Oh, wow. That's so crazy. Like literally that week right after, it was just nuts because I remember I went out of town, and when I came back, everything was just shut down completely. So that's so funny. I had this like sitting right in front of me.
Love it. Who else got something out of this or had a good experience when you met people there? And by the way, Nikisha, can you drop the survey in here one more time for anyone that's a slacker and still hasn't filled it out? Just drop it in the comments. Anyone else? Because we're going to wrap this thing up. Who else wants to share what'd you get out of today, or what'd you get out of your breakout? Dominique, 1 second, and I will spotlight you. Go ahead, Dominique.
Hi. So actually, it was what I wanted to share that I did during this, during the time we've been working at home. This was what made me happy. This was when I went to Bora Bora for my 50th birthday, and I made a photo book of it. So that's what makes me happy when I'm looking at. But during this, I've spent a time. It inspired me to make another book of my close friends and family and people from this group and clients, and just made a book, and it made me feel like close and connected to people that I haven't been able to see. And I just find it interesting that all 3 of us, or many of us, are sharing things that were the most things that made us happy, or pictures, right, of our past events that we're looking forward to being able to do again.
Love it. So I'm going to do something a little bit weird that we should have done a while ago when there were a lot more people. If you got something out of today or learned something from the panelists, I'm going to hit unmute right now. No, I hit mute. Hold on. That didn't work. Screwed. I screwed it all up. I can't even unmute you all. So never mind. Let's not try that exercise. I was going to have you guys clap for everyone, but you know what? It's probably not going to work. So anyway, let's give a virtual round of applause to our panelists. They can look at you and pretend they see you clapping. And thank you guys for all joining us. Make sure you fill out the survey. I'll hang out if anyone still has questions. Obviously, we covered a lot of stuff, and we could have went a lot deeper if we had more. If we had a few more hours. I know the panelists were grilled with questions. I had questions still flooding in. So if you've still got questions for them or want to ask them, just go ahead and stick around, or shoot me an email, and I'll make sure we get them answered. In fact, maybe if the panelists want to, I'll do an interview with each of them to follow up on the questions and blast it out to everybody. Let's see if we can pull that off. But any last minute things you want to share, takeaways, feedback on the event, or anything else basically before we wrap up? Let's go, Bradford. Go ahead.
So I just want to say thank you to everyone on the panel and in the groups. I really got a lot out of today. I miss being at the live events, but I thought it was really cool to get people from other areas. In one of my little side groups, I met somebody that's joining us from Los Angeles. I thought that was really neat. I had no idea, and I just want to appreciate the panelists for helping us as we stay forward, moving forward to create better content and put it out there. Thank you, everyone.
Love it. That must be one of your friends, Tiffany, because we don't have a reach in LA. So I'm gonna guess that's a Compass person.
Yeah, it was one. It was she follows Tiffany, so she jumped on.
I knew it. That's awesome. Hold on, you're muted. Let's say that again. Go ahead. Wait, you're still muted. Hold on, we can't hear anything you're saying, Tiffany, so hold up 1 second. I'm trying to unmute you, but it's not working.
Can I do it?
Try again. Now you're good.
Okay. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. You know, I'm happy to share and give my advice and tips and tricks. It's hard to do it on a singular basis given the time constraints of our day. You know, I mean, I get messages all the time like, hey, can I pick your brain? And I'm like, I'd love for you to pick my brain, but I can't even pick my own brain right now. Like I have so many things on my plate. So I need to, you know, it's really hard. So doing this on a bigger platform, thank you, Aaron, for the opportunity. And thank you to everybody that, you know, just supports and shares positive feedback, because we all need to help encourage each other. And, you know, a big thing about our company Compass is collaborating without ego. I mean, we're here to support each other. You know, yeah, if we're in the same market, we may be competing, but you know what, we're going to be stronger together and helping each other, and there's enough business for everybody. So let's help each other along the way. That's my motto.
Love it. By the way, thank you guys. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you to everyone that's joined us. If you happen to want to leave a really great review for Orlando Reel Producers, I just dropped the link in the comments. If you don't want to leave a great review, don't click that link. But just fill out the survey and tell us how much you didn't like it, but publicly tell us it was great. I'm half kidding, obviously. But let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to see next time. Let us know what topics you'd like. We're going to compile all your feedback and use it to make the next one. But thank you to all our panelists. Thank you to everyone that joined us. We're pretty much good to go. You guys can go whenever you want. But if you want to stick around and meet the people that are in this room, I'll leave this open. I got nowhere to go. I'll leave this open. I'll even start with some background music for you guys that want to continue to connect and meet each other. But thank you guys very much. Make sure you fill out the survey and join us the third Thursday of next month. That is, I think, the 18th of June. Is that right? June 18th. 9:30 sharp right here, probably on Zoom, because I doubt that everything's going to open back up at Harry Buffalo. And thanks for joining us.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you guys so much. If anyone wants to stick around, I'll hang out. If you guys just want to chat or something, I know last time we had like 30 people stick around till like an hour after. So if anyone here just wants to hang because you want to hang, we're not kicking you out. But I do want to let people know that we are officially done. And I probably should start